Is this LEGO Fortnite set really worth $259? Is this set truly something that you must buy or a must skip set? Anyway, you find all that and more here on Geeking Out with Brent. So anyway, today we're going to be reviewing or taking a look at the LEGO Fortnite Mecha Team Leader set number 77078. This set has a total of 2,503 pieces, and it's set retailed for $249.99, which basically close to $250. And I remember purchasing this at the LEGO set. So before I dive into review, I don't really play Fortnite. I mostly got it because I'm a big fan of giant robots and stuff like that. So anyway, forgot to move the tripod out of the way. Whoops. Show you every bit of it. But anyway, we'll go take a look at everything you get in the set and to find out is this set truly worth the $249.99 price point. And I'm going to dive into the pros and cons of the set. So anyway, before we dive into the main mecha itself, the set does. Let's start off with a pro here for a sec. Let's start off with this nice mini little plaque right here. Now, first off, one pro I do give this set is the exclusive minifigure of the set, which is basically the character, the Mecha Team Leader, in minifigure form, though. So I'm going to remove this. This is his accessory. Unfortunately, this is one con I do have to mention, is that the majority of the set is stickered. Yeah, unfortunately. The only things that aren't stickered is the plaque right here. And of course, this little, if I can, I'm going to go take my tripod and show you. You see that little heart with the lightning bolt? Yeah, that's what's printed. Everything else, including this, and I'll show you what's stickered and what's not. Yeah, other than that, the rest of it is stickered, which is a bit disappointing. But let's go back to the plaque and the minifigure as well. So like I said, this is of course the accessory of it. I want to get all this knocked out of the way just to show you what the Mecha Team Leader can actually do. So until you share my thoughts on it. No, anyway, this is definitely truly one of the coolest minifigures I have in my collection. It's a very nice minifigure adaptation of the Mecha Team Leader as well. So overall, this is one con. I do like this plaque very, very much. If I could pop it out back into sword. If I pop this up, here we go. Yeah, if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. There again, there's this mini little plaque. This I truly do love, in fact. So anyway, now let's dive into the actual sword portion. Now, believe it or not, the sword you actually build in Bag 1, believe it or not, because normally the swords and stuff with giant robots and stuff like that are normally saved towards the end of the bag. So this is kind of like its saber, or the Megazord saber, like in Power Rangers terms. But this is a really nice saber, and they used a bunch of different elements. So this is a pro right here. They definitely use a bunch of different elements, and I like the fact they used a hairpiece, minifigure hairpiece, if I can show you that, as basically the bottom part. And also I like the fact, I'll show you what these will do to how to connect the sword to it, because I think because this is another pro right here. I like the fact that that it has its simple, easy way to connect the sword to it. Now, the one negative to this is that even though I do like the front side of the sword, is that it does have an ugly side to the sword as well. But on the plus side, it does use a lot of translucent different elements and stuff like that. But plus, you're not really going to see the back of it too much. So anyway, I'll show you more how to connect the sword in just a moment, because I'm going to save that till later, till when we get close to the end of the review. So anyway, I'm going to get started off with design, in my opinion. This is a pretty good looking design robot. Now, once again, I never really played the game Fortnite, so I don't really know exactly what it looks like in gameplay, however. But, however, in terms of design, it is pretty cool. So let's dive into things I did like about the design. I do like the head design. Now I do know I'm missing a little piece right here. It's supposed to be a little silver, 4-piece element, but that I can easily find. I didn't have time to find it in terms of the review. I do like the head, the way the head is built. And also right here, I like the chest unit. Now, the chest unit can actually open up. Yeah. So you can chest input. So the chest unit can actually open up and show you the console as well. Basically, the idea is that you're supposed to put a minifigure inside it, which you can. I'll repeat if I can. I'm going to lift up my tripod. I'm going to remove Mecha Team Leader minifigure off its base and show you can. Now, believe it or not, in fact, you can place him inside the little area. Now, I'm going to try and get it the best way I can get it done on camera. Oh, there it goes. Now, of course, you can. Now, I'm going to give you another close-up of the console itself. Yeah, the console itself, unfortunately, is stickered. Yeah, once again, one negative that I do have about the set, that it is stickered. And basically the whole idea is that you can close him, lock him, close him up like that. And have him pilot the whole mecha team. Have him pilot the whole mecha team leader. And that's mostly the whole idea of it. Now, however, you can easily remove him out, like so. I'll put him back on his base at some point during review. So anyway, that is a nice little feature, but a nice little play feature that you can have in the set in terms of doing things like that if you want to have them displayed inside of it. Now, there's also, like I said, there are stickers to the head. There are stickers to the head right here. There's also a sticker right here to represent a health bar of some kind. However, let's talk about... Now, once again, I'm going to introduce you to the sword right here. I'm going to show you the sword. So, like I said, you got these couple Technic connectors right here. And you can easily connect the sword. And if I'm going to tilt my camera like this, you can actually insert it using the 10 pins. And I'm going to lift up his hand to show you what it had. So you see those two Technic holes right there? You basically insert the sword. You insert the sword. Okay. You lock it in place like that, and there you have him holding his saber like he's getting ready for battle. That is definitely a really cool feature, and it's really a really good, nice play feature to have, however. Now, I'm going to remove the sword to showcase you the articulation of it, because this is definitely a con in this set, at least in my opinion. One con I do have in the set is that the majority of the build itself is fine, but the posability do have a hard time building it, particularly with the arms. They are extremely stiff. So I think if you're going to try and pose this, I think in my opinion, if you're going to try and pose this, however, recommend you do this with both hands. In fact, you can lift the arms all the way up, which I never really tried because I'm concerned that something was going to break or not. It was definitely a major concern. So yeah, I think in my opinion, if you're going to just try and make an attempt to pose him in some way like they do in the box, use both hands to display him any way that you want to. In my opinion. So that way you can have your choice of how you want to display them inside your display case, whatever. As for the feet, however, and the actual legs portion of it, I do like to use, both have very similar builds, but both use two different styles of it. Once again, they're meant to represent mini race cars, but however, you can tell that both of them, these are meant to represent wheels, but they actually have rubber elements right here to make sure they're not screwing up the table or whatever display stand you got. All right. Like one represents a hamburger, the other represents a tomato. Once again, another negative to the set that it's stickered, however, which I'm not a big fan of. There are wheels that are used on the set, like mostly in the back of the heels, however. But however, you're not going to use the wheels that much, or like you're not. Sorry, my apology. You're not going to use the wheels that much in the set in terms of display-wise if you're planning to display them. Now, I'm going to show you real quick to what the back looks like. So if I turn around and show you what the back portion looks like without possibly knocking him over, and this is definitely a negative in my opinion, however, that it's a bit top heavy. So if you're going to carry him around and try to get him to your display case, however, you're going to need two hands for him because he can be a bit heavy, and he is a bit top heavy. Now, this is truly what the back of him do look like. And once again, this is where I say there are rubber tires. If I could show you, there are rubber tires acting as the heel. The same thing is for blue as well. But for the most part, they do a good job holding him up sturdy, and these are meant to represent some sort of jetpack from what I've read in the instruction manual. However, but please correct me down in the comment section below what these things truly do, because I have no idea. And once again, I don't really play Fortnite, so I apologize if I get the terminology wrong. And I also like the detail they have right here. So anyway, looks like we're getting closer towards the end of the review, so I'm going to tilt him back and give you my final thoughts and conclusions if the set truly is worth it or not. Is this a must-buy or skip set? Now, let's talk about... Okay. Good job. And I'm also going to display him with my sword, and you can display him with the sword for the final conclusion of it. And I like the fact that each sword, each leg, one pro I do have, so I do like the fact that each hand right here, the hands and the arms are also different as well. One represents a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the other represents a normal robot arms. Now, real quick, you can connect him to the other arm because the other arms have the same technic element buildage uses. And also, the fingers and on both hands, however, are basically ball-jointed elements. But anyway, now it's time for my final thoughts and conclusions on this episode of Geeking Out Brent. So, is it a must-buy, skip, or skip? I'm going to say it's totally a buy, but there are some negatives to this set, however. Number one, in my opinion, was the fact, one negative, like I pointed out, was the fact there were so many stickers and very low printed elements, which, in my opinion, LEGO could easily have printed some of these some of these elements out easily. Instead, what we got was like two elements that were printed, unfortunately. Now, in terms of build-wise, I had a fun time building this set. It was great to see how this thing came together and looking like this big robot, and that's what I really enjoy. I love the detail with the set. Now, one thing, one pro that I will say, I do like this is a pro and con. I do like the fact they give the set posability as well, but once again, in my opinion, the joints are kind of stiff, however. The joints are stiff, and it's going to be a situation where we're going to need to use both hands to display him in the proper positions. But overall, it's definitely a really great set worth having in your collections. But at the $249 price point, that is something I'm going to leave up to you to decide. I do think it's a tad bit too expensive for a Fortnite set, but for the price point for a set like this, it's definitely understandable why the set had to go down that price point. I know there is another Fortnite set that is cheaper, which is a banana character, but I don't have them to review. But please comment down in the comment section below what set you want me to review next, regardless if it's Fortnite, Star Wars, or anything. But overall, in this episode of Geeking Out, this is truly a true buy, in my opinion. It's a great set for any Fortnite fan. So I highly do recommend it, despite minor things like the stickers and stuff like that. So if you're a fan of LEGO and Fortnite, this is the set that's truly great for you. But anyway, remember to one thing I do want to get away is please comment and like this video. I really appreciate me helping the channel out, help grow the channel. If you guys tell me what sets you want me to review next, tell me what price point of set you guys want me to do next, tell me what theme you guys want me to cover, like Star Wars, Disney, any set you guys want me to review, please let me know down in the comment section below. It would definitely help. And also remember to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really need help with subscribers right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to please share this video in any way, shape, or form. But overall, this is a great video. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and God bless all of you. So this is it for this Geeking Out with Brent. Like I said, comment, subscribe, and like, and share this video. Thanks again.